What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be taking a look at a title called Soulstone Survivors. This is a game that's barking up the Vampire Survivors tree, much like many other games out there right now. This one's leaning in more of an action-y direction. It's got a little bit more, it's got like dodges, and it's got a little bit more positional awareness. It's got a lot more movement. I do have some thoughts about the demo that they released, but we'll talk about that at the end of the video. If after watching this you wanted to check out the demo for yourself, it's freely available. You can go play the demo right now, and you can lodge your input with the developers on the Steam forums, or I'm sure they have a Discord and everything else. This is the time to make your voice heard with anything you may have a problem with, but by and large, it feels like a pretty tight, pretty polished experience. Other than that, you'll also find a link to my Discord and my Twitch stream down below, just in case you wanted to hang out live most days here on the internet. Whenever I get free time outside of recording and editing and all that kind of stuff, I try to throw together little streams, since that's one of the only ways I really get to interact with people on the internet that have come into contact with my content. But aside from that, we should probably get moving, right? I should probably play some video games. So Soulstone Survivors, what is it? It's Vampire Survivors, but it's got a little bit better graphics. It's got a lot more spell effects. The game relies a lot more on AoEs and requires a lot more positional awareness. It does have things like stuns and knockbacks and things of that nature, which means that the game can get pretty bombastic and explosive as you get further on in. I do think that the intensity of the game doesn't really let up. There are some interesting opportunities for builds here, and the game does sport a number of features even in the demo that makes me intrigued about the final release. So as you can see, there are already 13 characters in the works. For the context of this demo, only 3 of them are available. There's the Spellbreaker, which is kind of like a spell sword, I guess. This is a guy that has like some magic spells, but also a lot of melee attacks. There is the Arcane Weaver that goes much more heavily into ranged attacks and AoEs. And then there's an Archer, which I haven't got to play yet. I think prior to the recording of this video, I played for about an hour and a half, just to really kind of start getting my thoughts in order. There are other supplementary ways that you can level up as well. Every single character has upgradable gear. So as you're playing through the different levels will have different mining nodes and have different trade skill items on them that allow you to upgrade people's gear. There is a blacksmith. That's where you're going to do that at. You can also take a look and see what materials you have on you for right now. There's also a rune tree. No idea what the runes do because they aren't in this version. But it looks like you're going to be able to get like 5 runes that I'm guessing are going to accentuate your damage or increase your HP or increase your movement speed. Maybe they have like synergies with one another, so you got to pick what you want to slot where. I don't know. That's all conjecture. All we have is kind of this cryptic menu here for right now. There's also a small skill tree right now that's going to allow you to pick up passive benefits in between runs. These crystals are what you use for that. So the blue crystals are basically a very basic minor currency that you get in order to upgrade things. And then the red, the blue, the gold, the green, those are going to be for bosses that get harder and harder and harder. Whenever you kill a boss that spawns inside of a map, you get one of the big crystals. And the big crystals are usually kind of like the capstone material that you need in order to get like the 5 out of 5 upgrade. Like I think for the 25% damage increase, it was like a red one or like 2 red ones that I needed to have. And so anyways, that's how that all works. The game's also going to come strapped with Chivos once the game is out, but it's not for right now. And really, I don't think there's too much more explanation to do. I think we pretty much just got to jump straight on in and give it a go. So let's go ahead and dive on into the fight menu. We'll go ahead and give it a run, and you'll see how the progression works on the in-between. I just spent all of my stuff, so unfortunately, I don't really have anything to play around with. We'll do the Arcane Weaver first, because I like the Arcane Weaver the best. As of right now, the game appears to have, like 5 maps that are going to have varying kind of trade skill items and things on them to upgrade your gear. I actually don't know. So, like, in the case of this staff right here, are the upgrades actually, like, in the game? There we go, they are. So it looks like to get Ignis, the Great Staff of Despair, I've already got the rubies, and it looks like I need 600 gold. So maybe what we'll do is we'll go to like a different map. Like I've got the ability to play the second map as of right now, and that's got gold and topaz on it. So let's go check this out. I've never seen this map before, so I have no idea what's going to happen. Our character starts out with a very basic magic missile spell that has a light AoE on it. All the other mechanics you're going to see here are pretty much identical to Vampire Survivors. Monsters come, you blow them up and murder them, you get little XP crystals, you level up, that will give you new abilities and new synergies and new passives and things of that nature. You kind of just gotta build towards a real strategy along the way, and the randomness is what makes that kind of like fun or unfun, depending on whether or not you are into this genre. One of the additions the game does have is the addition of a dash. The dash is gonna be pretty much requisite, like you need to use the dash, otherwise things are not gonna work out for you. I got smacked right there. I do feel like damage feedback could be a little bit better telegraphed with like a red flash on screen or something like that. There are a number of times when I've been playing the demo that I haven't been aware that I've been taking damage because I'm so busy kind of ducking and dodging and trying to get around stuff that it just doesn't, I don't notice from like the little red numbers on my character or from my bar going down. I do have a passive perk right now that I've got through my skill tree that's going to allow me to get some HP back whenever I level, so that's going to be really, really nice to provide me with a tiny trickle of goodies. We do have a level up on deck, but I think the first level up is almost always a passive from what I've seen so far, and so I was waiting until I had 2 level ups before we go in. So yeah, there's our passive. We can make our skills fire 6% faster, we can get a higher critical strike chance, we can get range on our pickups. I like range on pickups, and all of those are green quality. All of the upgrades you're going to see that are passives, they're going to come in either yellow, green, blue, purple qualities. All of those qualities do something else. There's also like a legendary quality you can get. We've got, ooh, meteor shower sounds sexy. Yeah, let's do that. It's fire, and it's ranged, and it's area. Now, every ability is going to have tags on it. And these tags are not just to imply what it does. These tags are actually utilitarian as well. So when you pick up an active skill, it has active tags, and when you pick up a passive skill, it will also have tags. And if those tags match up, the passive will affect that active. We'll go with Meteor Shower because I don't think I've seen this ability yet in an hour and a half. Yeah, that was pretty spicy. I think I enjoyed that much more than I probably should have. Now, the other meteors that you're seeing flying around that are being implied by the red zones on the ground, those are not my meteors. Those are just environmental things that are happening that you need to get the hell out of the way of. My meteors are implied by blue AoE areas, which means we can stand inside of them and not worry too much about taking damage. Let's go ahead and keep feeding up meteors here. Yeah, that's a pretty good ability. I think we should probably build our entire run around this. This seems like a capstone ability that we really want to make use of the best we can. Is that going to be my gold right there on the ground? Yes, I think that is the gold. Unfortunately, we need like 600 of it in order to upgrade our abilities. And so we are going to want to kind of like find our way to gold nodes whenever we can make that available. We only get like 2 to 4 gold out of each node, though, so it's going to be a while before we have the 600 we need in order to buy the new staff. I don't know if the new staff is going to give us new abilities or if the new staff is going to just give us flat, like, passive buffs or whatever. Not really too sure, but anyways, there's a couple more gold for the stack. It looks like we've got 4 level ups to play around with. I should probably utilize those. We've got a fire damage increase right there. We definitely want to take that. We've got combustion. All of your attacks have a chance to put burn on the target, or we can get another 6% spam. I want the 6% spam. I want to be like a machine gun. We can get firewall or firebolt. That's going to build into our fire passive that gives 20% more damage. I think I'll probably go with firebolt. And then I will more than likely continue. Ooh, we've got channels. So arcade missiles is the only one that's going to be affected by that. Wah, wah. Let's take relentless and we'll keep firing faster and faster. I think this is the topaz right here that we're going to be wanting. Your projectile spells, they are going to go towards the reticle that's on screen right now. So you are actively targeting some of these abilities, which is really, really nice. Adds a little bit of control, but by and large, a lot of the AoEs and things you're going to be flinging around are more or less going to fire randomly, and you're just going to have to make do with whatever gaps get created. I want whatever that is. I think that's probably the topaz. Yeah, that's topaz. Okay, welcome, topaz. I put you inside my sack, and I utilize you. Eventually, anyways. That's a healing node right there. We don't really want to crack that open, as it gives us the healing when it breaks, rather than us picking anything up. And so we're going to want to wait and save that until we actually have health missing. Really nice AoE right there. Couldn't have asked for a better spot for the meteors to go off in. That was really, really nice. Alright, so with 2 more level ups to go, we can get a damage increase on our arcane missile and our firebolt, or we can increase our pickup range. Pickup range is good. I'm going to take that for right now, just because I'm having to actively touch all the stuff that I'm picking up right now, and it's making it difficult. I think I'll probably go with a shadow bolt here, even though it's not fire. just because I want lots of shooty boy things that I'm constantly going to be spurting out of my front end to annihilate my enemies. The game does get a little bit busy. I do think that either the game needs to be less reliant on AoEs, or it needs to have the visual flair turned down a little bit. You haven't seen it yet, but as we get further on into the game, what's going to happen is the enemy gets very, very, very AoE spammy to the point where there's going to be very few places that you can move to, and I don't have a problem with that right there because it requires controlled movement, which is obviously skill-based. However, a lot of the time the spell effects, they very much get in the way of your ability to see the AoE markers that are on the ground. And so that's an issue I've continually run into. We've also got these little explodey guys. Oh no. Apparently I got trapped right there. This is going to be one of those times that we probably want to start healing ourselves. Let's go ahead and find a healing spot. We do have explodey guys on the field of combat. The explodey guys are a problem because they knock you around, and I'm not entirely too sure if I like that mechanic or not. A problem that I have also run into, aside from the AoEs, is that when these little explodey guys get you, it can kind of like ping pong ball you all over the place, and I've gone from having like really, really like full health down to having like 10 health left without any control over my character just by being ping-ponged around by explosions. And that's one of those things that, like, you guys will know in the past that I'm not really a fan of anything that removes control of the character in a single-player game from the player. Like, the player should always be in control of their movement. Things like stuns, things like knockbacks, things of that nature in single-player games, I think are kind of one of those things that are just outside my taste. We got Fire Shield. That stacks with the fire damage bonus that we have. We also have double cast for our Firebolt. That sounds great. We'll take that. And then we've got Flame Wave or we've got Firewall. I'm going to say Flame Wave because that's a circular AoE, and then we've got level 2 Fire Shield over here, all in one burst, which is great actually because Fire Shield kind of underrated for getting rid of like the small grist for the mill enemies that are normally wasting your projectiles and whatnot. Let's continue to sort of just wreak destruction over here. We should be able to consistently rely... I think that was a knockback right there that pushed me all the way back over here, although I'm not super sure. Anyways, we should be able to rely on just the random damage that hits the boss for right now from all of our meteors and comets and things that are falling all over the place. They do seem to be doing a decent amount of damage, and they are putting damage over time effects on him whenever he gets hit. And so, like, I don't think I need any close quarters contact. We're able to kind of, like, fiery. We're kind of able to do, like, a pyromancer's social distancing right now to stay away. I guess we could call it roastal distancing. I was trying to think of something that kind of, like, rhymes or goes along with the theme, but, you know. Please kill off the explodey guy with the boom barrel on his back. Thank you. I appreciate that. Anytime we can kill off one of those dudes, I am a happy camper. The boss has apparently gone down. He's dropped the big crystal around here. There it is. The big crystal should have like a big red arrow on like the margin of the screen if it's off screen that shows you where it's at so you can go pick it up. Akin to like what happens when there's a chest on the field of play in Vampire Survivors. Or when there's, I'm trying to think of other Vampire Survivor type games, or like when there's an upgrade node or whatever on the field for like Lazarus Project, any of those types of games. They all have little indicators on the margins of the screen telling you the direction that pickups are, just in case you're too far away to actually see them on screen. I got stuck to that bone skull over there. I do not like being stuck to the bone skull. It concerns me. We do have some level ups to play around with. I do like the damage increase on Meteor Shower since we're leaning on it pretty heavily. We can take Firewall right here and then double cast. The skill Fire is now double cast. That's what we were waiting for. That's the good stuff right there. We are now getting double meteors. We are getting double fire shield. We are getting double fireball. We're getting double firewall. We're getting double everything. Double your trouble. We've got some serious Team Rocket action happening here. I'm just going to focus on picking up all the loot that these idiots are dropping because, like, I feel like we've got a really solid synergized build going right now, and if we can focus our passive acquisition to keep going further, I think we're going to be in really good shape as the game goes along. There we go. Just wipe out everything in the center right there. We got a couple upgrades to play around with. People always ask me why I don't allocate my upgrades. I'm kind of weird. I like to apply like 7 upgrades at once. It's just this weird thing that makes me happy. We can probably go with a chance to stack Doom on the enemy. Probably won't be that helpful because Doom gets reset. Doom gets reset if another Doom effect gets put on the enemy, and so with how many rapid-fire abilities we're using right now, I think we're going to be reapplying Doom too frequently for it to go off. I'm going to take Magnetic, I guess. I'm not going to take any of these. The game has a nice feature where if you don't like any of the actives that they are offering you, you can swap it out for a passive. We've got Legendary Double Cast, which will affect Meteor Shower and Firewall. I'm going to take it. We've also got more XP, Spontaneous Combustion. Yeah, I'll take Spontaneous Combustion. We've also got an increase to our area effect spells, but only the ones that are arcane tagged. So I'm going to take Fire Shield level 3, I guess. We've also got Chaos Bomb. Don't really want any of those. Increase your damage by 10%, though, is difficult to walk away from. So I'm gonna take it. This build is coming together. It's looking pretty good right now. I didn't want to break that healing crystal. That was an accident. I just totally wasted that healing crystal. How much gold have I picked up along the way? Like 30 gold? That's actually not too bad. Like, thinking about the fact that it's going to require 600 gold for us to upgrade the wizard's staff, we've already gotten 30 of it, which is not terrible. Man, these double casts out here, just making it chaos in the neighborhood. It is straight ugly for the enemy. We got hit again right there. Another little lockback or knockback flying around. But as you can see, the game can get very, very busy, which makes it hard to see AoEs on the ground. That's what I was talking about previously. Then again, I suppose we don't really have to worry about dodging AoEs if we're killing the things that are deploying the AoEs so rapidly that they never get an opportunity to cast. So I suppose that would be the other half right there. Getting knocked around by little barrel boys. We've got some level ups to play around with. We can make area. So we've got two. We got a damage increase on Flame Wave. Yeah, let's go damage increase on Flame Wave. Reduce cooldowns by 6%. Power ups, we will take 5% more damage. Yeah. Do I have like a running tally somewhere? I do. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. That was going to be my next observation, is that like I would like to have a running tally of all the modifiers that are currently stacked on my character. However, we don't need to worry about it because it's already over here. Our spells are casting 25% faster. We're getting almost double damage out of everything that we're casting. Very nice. Okay, let's resume. We do have another boss in play, and he's going to come with new abilities. Basically, you square off against the same boss like, oh no, he knocked me into the AoE. It's kind of unfortunate, but we did get a little bit of meteor damage off right there. Now that we're on this phase of the boss, this boss needs to have his hitboxes tightened up. So it puts an AoE marker on the ground, but I've noticed that the projectiles diverge way outside that AoE marker. So even if you're clear of it, you can still get hit by his projectiles, no problem, because they kind of fan, even though the marker on the ground implies that it's going to be kind of like a straight beam attack. And so either the fan needs to be adjusted right there, or it needs to be tightened up a little bit when it comes to like the AoE effect. Alright, so he's going to fire off over there. Oh, look at that. Apparently my internet's going in and out. Discord restarted on me. 1 second. That was very unprofessional. I'm sorry, everybody. Normally I don't close down my Discord while I'm recording because issues don't get caused, but apparently Discord is having issues with their servers today, and it's like restarting over and over and over again. I heard it do it a little bit earlier, too. And I don't want it to be like Discord like every 4 seconds on camera. We can make our firewall larger. We can reduce our damage taken. We can make our crits hit harder. We're not really doing a crit build, although we should take a couple of crit perks, I think. Let's make firewall a little bit bigger. And we've got flame wave over here. Yeah, we can get like a quadruple. Let's take the meteor shower damage, actually. Like, I still feel like we are much more reliant on meteor shower than we are everything else. I feel like Meteor Shower is really kind of the linchpin of our strategy right now. Like, it's the one that's clearing the big gaps, and I need to ensure that it stays good, because I think if my Meteor Shower falls off, we're going to have big issues. There we go. Let's keep working on this boss. He's going to fire off that little AoE over there. We've got a little bit more gold that we've picked up. We've almost got 10% of the gold that we need to upgrade our staff. And I think if I can just focus on getting to it, we'll be all right. Yeah, I'm going to say that Meteor Shower is one of the best abilities I've ever used in the game. It is quite phenomenal. I've done a lot of builds today. I've probably done 7 or 8 runs, and Meteor Shower is cleaning house like nothing else that I've ever really seen. It's pretty good. It has my approval. I think it's going to be a pick-on-sight type ability for me from now on. Ow, dude. Okay. Yeah, apparently we just lost all of our health to one cast. I'm going to need to find a spot where I can feel more better. Otherwise, this run is going to be over. So do we have any healing nodes around here? Not really, but if we can level up gradually, that'll help too. Unfortunately, we've got a meteor shower right now, which is actually, like, really bad. Hey, there's one right there. There she blows. Give me a little bit of health. There we go. We're in a tiny bit better of shape now. I'm not going to say that we're out of the woods, but I will say that the woods are looking a lot less thicket-like at the moment. Another level up to give us another 4 HP. Another level up right there for a little bit more healing. Keep the boss inside the meteor shower. Hey, we've got another healing spot, too. Very nice. All right, so I don't want any of these abilities. Instead, I would like to... I'll increase my health. I will guarantee critical strikes on undamaged enemies. I will increase the damage on all of my area spells by 20%, because that leans into the strategy for Meteor Shower being our main hitter. Dude, its opening hit on these guys is hitting for like 600. Very nice. But one thing I do like about the game is that it's very, very tight. Like, everything about this game is arranged really, really well. When it comes to UX, you can tell that whoever designed this is actually experienced when it comes to UI and UX. Everything from the health meters and the way that they flow upwards and downwards to the XP meter and the smooth way that it slides when it fills up, like, it's all done just very, very, very well. This is a game that is possessing of, like, a very satisfying UI, a very modern UI that works quite well. I think it looks great, actually, and the spell effects are really rad, too. I just wish I could see the AoEs on the ground a little bit better sometimes. I don't know if I have to damage that in order to pick... Oh, my God, that was a big juggle. I hated it. There we go. We got our blue crystal. I think you got to touch it before they'll loot it. We've got about 150 enemies left until we get another boss that we have to deal with. Let's keep working on this strategy. Don't want anything there. I will take another 10% damage to everything, and then faster cast times. I probably should have actually taken the meteor shower. Yeah, I've got buyer's regret. I've got buyer's remorse. Unfortunately, the return policy here is not obliging. Maybe stay out of some of these meteors for a second. God, it's getting a little hectic up in here, isn't it? It's getting a little tiny bit chaotic, but that's what I like, dude. I like to see the spectacle. That's a big chunk of the fun with games like this, is like, how much of a ridiculous spectacle can I possibly put on screen before my 20 minutes runs out? And, like, this game is actually, I'm getting the same vibe from this game that I got from 20 Minutes Till Dawn. I've been very, very careful about showing off Vampire Survivor type games, unless they've got some kind of hook or, like, thing going on that diversifies them. And this game right here, Project Lazarus, I think 20 Minutes Till Dawn, those are the ones so far that I feel like make very, very large improvements in certain regards, whether it be to, like, the user experience, or whether it be to, like, extra mechanics that are flowing in the background and not just relying entirely on kind of the Vampire Survivors circle and then a reskin. And so anyways, like, I'm feeling pretty solid about this one. That ability can be very hard to dodge, that little fan of damage that he puts out. I actually kind of hate dealing with it because my timing's always off, which means he just gets fun-filled damage on me. There we go. We got a nice little meteor shower on him right there. We've got double cast that'll go to arcane missiles. I haven't really done a whole lot with arcane missiles, but everything else here is kind of trash for us, so at least it upgrades something. We can summon skeletons and go with kind of like necromancy, but I'm going to go with more flame wave damage, I think. Like, these wolves right here are really sturdy, and they can be really hard to kill. And so as they start to close the gap with us, we're going to need stuff to start hitting harder. Otherwise, they're going to kind of funnel us around the maps in ways that we don't want to be funneled. Contrary to the fact that fun is in the word funnel, it is very, very unfun to be funneled. I'll tell you that right now. Another level up right there. Let's go ahead and take a fire shield upgrade so that we've got even more fire shield bombs around us. The enemies are getting pretty stiff out here, though. Oh, he caught me with that one from super deep. He may catch me with that one, too. There is a thing on the passive tree that allows you to upgrade your dash so that you can dash multiple times. I do think that that's kind of a critical technology to get after, and I sort of regret the fact that I haven't done it yet. We ate that one right there, too. It's kind of like, because when you close the gap with the big green guy, it's like a 50-50 that he's going to do that straight line attack or that he's going to do the stompy AoE around himself. And so you kind of need to dash like instantly if he's doing the stompy AoE. And so I keep guessing wrong, basically. There we go. A little bit more damage. Touch him up a little bit. Touch him up, touch him out. I probably should not have gone for that gold right there. That was probably a little bit overly cavalier. Oh, the gold veins drop more gold the further into the round you are. Gotcha. I actually hadn't connected those dots yet through my playtime previously, so that's good to know. So, like, you're going to unlock weapons faster the further on in you're getting. Like, you do get rewarded. Meteor shower up by 30%, I'll take it. I've got a feeling that if we were to look at the damage regression, it's probably the vast majority of my damage that I'm putting out. Especially with the double cast going right there. We're doing okay. There we go. Plaguebringer. I need you. There we go. I've got the timing down now on his little missiles. Oh my god. I cannot see a thing right now. I am sightless at the moment. He's almost down, though, and then we'll have to... then we can stop tiptoeing through the tulips out here and actually, like... oh, that might have killed me. I was going to say, that bomber got me at just the right time to knock me back into his attack. That would have been problematic. We've got 2 more bosses to go on this map until we win. Your dodge does give you iframes, in case you were wondering. It also disables your character's collision, just in case you were worried about that. So, like, your dodge can actually bail you out of pretty tricksy situations from time to time if you need it to. I'm mostly just focusing on harvesting gold because I want to upgrade a weapon out here. That's what I want to do. We got 2 level ups. I should probably do something with that. Let's go for 20% more movement speed. Hell yeah. And then we can get double fireball, or we can get cooldown reduced. I'm going to go for double fireball, because I think just in my head theory, that's better. I guess I'd have to run the math on it, though, to find out. One thing the game is missing is some kind of pleasant jingle while you're picking up XP and items. One of the things that's really magnificent about the way that Vampire Survivors is designed is that the guy that made Vampire Survivors, this is common knowledge back in the day, but I pointed this out when I was covering it, that the game has a lot in common with a slot machine, and at that time I didn't know that he was a slot machine designer before he made Vampire Survivors, and in retrospect it makes a tremendous amount of sense, because the entire game is effectively optimized to make dopamine dumps in your brain. And part of that dopamine dump is hearing that constant jingling and visual audio feedback from picking up XP. It's very, very quiet, and they need to put that in right there, because that, to me, is one of the most satisfying parts of playing a game like this, is the jingling of all the currency going into your character and whatnot. I love it. Just give me the jingle jangles. I've got orbs, they jingle, jangle, jingle, as we go riding merrily along. Getting hit by that barrel right there may have actually saved me. We're not putting as much damage on this boss as I would like. Shadow goes up by 20%. I'm going to take more health, I guess. And I don't want any of those. We have a 15% chance to completely block attacks. Yeah, let's do that. That's not bad. That may actually save us. I don't like to leave my possibility of survival up to chance. But if I have to, and I've got nothing else like really pertinent that I'm adding to the build anyways, we might as well like go for it. I believe the boss's cooldowns are getting faster. It feels like he's shooting stuff at me at a much faster rate. We may have to just kind of rely. I can't really get near to him right now. We may have to rely on him just kind of wading his way into our AoE from time to time, but each AoE is maybe doing 2% damage to him. So this may be This may be the end of the efficiency of the build that I have going right now. While we're in the market, I'm just going to farm up more materials because there's not much else to do at this point. We've got a third of what we need to upgrade the wizard staff to the next level. I do very much want to see what that affects. Like, it takes enough work to upgrade a weapon that I assume it's probably going to be consequential, but I won't know until I see it. Oh boy. Yeah, that got a little hectic for a second. Okay, yeah, there's AoEs everywhere. Oh my, I'm getting some frame lag now. We're starting to lose some frames, boys. We're starting to lose some frames out here. Yeah, I'm going to need to dodge, like, right now. I don't know why my dodge was locked down, but wasn't letting me dodge. I was spamming on the shift key, but it wasn't happening. I don't know if I got stunned or what happened right there. Not entirely too sure. I do like that the leveling curve is actually fairly smooth in this game. So in other Vampire Survivor likes, basically what ends up happening is like the levels you get to later on take a really, really long time to achieve and the bar doesn't really move. But it still feels actually okay and smooth right now, even though we're like in the 40s for our level. I don't see any healing spots around. That's not great because that means I'm relying on my passive healing from leveling up. And that's really only useful in the early game when you're leveling up a lot to fix problems. I think I'm mostly just running for my life right now. I'm not really doing anything productive. Let me get a level up real fast, more movement speed, and then area of effect flame wave, I guess. Could use more damage, but I'm not going to nitpick. Anything that's relevant to the build that I currently have going is alright by me. Stay out of the way of those bullets right there. There's also a lot of, like, booger puddles around that I think are going to create problems for me, especially in this meteor shower. Yeah, I've got a pretty limited field of movement now that I can play around with until that meteor shower is over. We do have some healing on this side, though, but I do think that this game is actually pretty clean as far as games like 20 Minutes Till Dawn, Vampire Survivors, Magic Survivors, all that kind of stuff goes. I do think they've got all the bits and pieces in the right places. I think just tightening up the AoEs so that they're actually represented on the ground, maybe making the AoEs a little bit easier to see in late game situations like this right here. You know, just little touch-ups like that I think are going to be pretty important. But the main mechanical pieces all feel very, very good. And by and large, I'm actually pretty impressed with this one. It feels nice. The frame rate is taking a little bit of a dookie dump on us. It is getting a little bit chonky right now. I don't really mind too much because it's still above like 30, but it is getting a little bit chonkinated on me. Yeah, that was not where I needed you to drop a meteor strike. That was not where that goes. I need you to drop a meteor strike like... Oh, that's bad. I need you to drop a meteor strike like in the main vanguard. Like it needs to be in kind of the central regions. Oh, boy. I really need this boss to go down. But we just don't have the damage. I'll take another fire shield upgrade. Fire shield's damage, unfortunately, doesn't really seem to go up altogether that much. Yeah, like these enemies aren't even really taking damage from us right now in our fire shield. So maybe fire shield was a mistake. There we go. Give me a good one right there. Very nice. Take him down by a couple Thou XP. Yeah. I'm kind of playing it for keeps right now. I'm being maybe a little bit overly aggressive, but I kind of need that boss to go down. We're like 25 minutes into this thing. This is by far one of the better runs that I've ever had. And it's all thanks to you, Meteor Strike. It's all thanks to you. Grab some of that stuff right there. Some of them little goodies. I'm looking around for a healing node in case you're wondering what I'm doing. Kind of like pacing the map, seeing if I can find anything that's going to pull me out of this situation. Honestly, for like a really, really good run, I don't mind the fact that the weapon upgrade is basically halfway done. That seems about right for like a 30-minute run. And it means that you kind of have to focus on playing the characters that you want to upgrade, because it's not one of those things I think you're really going to pick up passively. Like, you've got to be making it to, like, the deep part of a run in order to get, like, good resource pickups. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. This is what chaos and bad things happening to me looks like. I'm just going to keep running, keep running, keep running. At this point, I'm mostly just focusing on picking up trade skill items. And that's about it. Like, I know I'm going down, you know what I mean? Like, the writing is on the wall. But before I go down, I'm trying to, like, bank as much as I possibly can, because we're getting to the point now where we're pulling out, like, 20 resources from each node. And so, like, a few more, and we may actually be in the market to upgrade a weapon or something. Oh, boy. Oh, he knocked me back into the AoE. Bummer. All right, well, let's go back to the menu. We'll take a look at some of the meta progression. So you can buy new characters. I do have enough to buy the archer, so I am going to do that. That was the function of that run, as I wanted to unlock the last character. We've also got the blacksmith over here. I'm at 422 gold at the moment. I need 180 more gold, and then we can get Ignis, the Great Staff of Despair. I do think that including weapon upgrades is a really good idea. On the skill tree, we've got 3,000 left. That's not very much. I'm just going to raise my movement speed by a little bit so that I don't have to take movement speed upgrades during the beginning of the game. I can wait till later because we're just getting that passively. But yeah, this is Soulstone Survivors. Not bad. Definitely one of the tighter games that I've played in this genre. Check it out. You can play the demo right now. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today, Soulstone Survivors. Tomorrow, something else. Goodbye, everyone, and thank you for the luxury of your time.